If you find yourself replaying conversations in your head long after they've ended, Psychology Secrets suggests that your brain processes social life in a truly unique way. You aren't being paranoid, obsessive, or overly anxious. You are rare. Most people lack the analytical depth to revisit interactions at all, often forgetting the specifics within minutes. You don't. You hold on to the exact phrasing, the specific tone, the body language, and the subtle pauses. You look for the why behind every word spoken or withheld. While others might tell you to just let it go or stop overthinking, psychology reveals a much more complex story. This habit isn't a glitch, it is a structured, analytical process. It's often the hallmark of specific cognitive and emotional strengths found in only a small segment of the population. If you dissect every detail of an interaction repeatedly, you likely possess several of these 6 rare traits. By the end of this discussion, you'll see why your mind functions this way and why it's a gift rather than a flaw. Your brain is naturally tuned to social signals that most people overlook. This isn't just being observant, it's a high-level perception that can feel exhausting. While others take words at face value, you are simultaneously decoding micro-expressions, hesitations, and emotional undertones. Because your brain is running multiple layers of real-time analysis, it doesn't just stop when the talking ends. The replay is simply your mind completing its natural data processing cycle. This high social monitoring often develops in childhood as a way to ensure emotional safety, and it makes you exceptional at reading between the lines today. You don't just remember what was said, you feel it. The emotional resonance of a conversation lingers because your system processes feelings with more intensity and complexity than the average person. This is often linked to sensory processing sensitivity, a trait found in highly sensitive people, HSPs. You sense disappointment or frustration, even when it's masked by polite words. Your brain needs the replay to fully digest the emotional impact of the encounter. This depth allows for a level of empathy and connection that most will never reach. For you, replaying the past is actually a way of preparing for the future. This is predictive social modeling. Your mind is trying to map out behavior patterns so you can anticipate outcomes. You ask yourself if someone was being honest or if they were upset, not out of irrationality, but to run probability assessments. This trait often surfaces in those who grew up in unpredictable environments. Your brain learned that predicting someone's mood was a way to prevent conflict. You aren't overthinking, you are thinking ahead. You are deeply self-reflective, a trait known as metacognition, thinking about your own thinking. Most people never pause to examine their own communication styles or motivations, but you do it constantly. You evaluate if you were clear, if you were awkward, or if you should have used different words. While this can sometimes feel like self-criticism, it is actually the engine of profound personal growth and high emotional intelligence. You care about how you show up in the world, and that is a rare and valuable quality. Sometimes, replaying conversations is a survival mechanism. If you experienced childhood criticism or inconsistent caregiving, your nervous system learned to scan for threats to keep you safe. Your brain asks, "Am I okay? Are they mad?" as a way of protecting you from rejection. This isn't a personality flaw, it's an adaptation that served you when you needed it most. Understanding this allows you to approach your overthinking with compassion rather than judgment, recognizing it as a part of your brain that is still trying to look out for you. You likely have a high verbal working memory. While most people only remember the general gist of a talk, you remember the exact script. You recall the phrasing and the emphasis weeks later. This is a cognitive strength that makes you an excellent communicator and a keen observer of inconsistencies. It can be heavy to carry so much detail, but it allows you to understand people at a depth that is truly uncommon. If you recognize yourself in these traits, know that you aren't broken. You are a deep thinker with a rare combination of perception, empathy, and memory. The goal isn't to force yourself to stop thinking, but to work with your brain instead of against it. Give yourself permission to analyze, but also the grace to let go when the data is sufficient. You see the world with a clarity that others miss, and that is a profound strength. Which of these traits did you recognize in yourself? Let me know in the comments. If this perspective helped you feel validated, consider following Psychology Secrets for more insights into how your mind works. Would you like me to expand on any of these specific traits or perhaps create a summary of the key takeaways?